I didn't really have an angle going in to sort of think to myself, okay, I'm going to do this differently, you know. I just wanted to make it personable, I guess. I wanted people to sort of, I did it for the kids. No, seriously, I wanted 15-year-olds to be excited by Shakespeare. If they weren't already, it's terribly arrogant for me to say that they weren't, you know, anyway. But I'm just thinking back when I was doing it, that, you know, it would be on the curriculum, and so maybe they would go see it in the cinemas, and they would be, like I say, excited and inspired by it, and see things that maybe they didn't see or learn about at school. You know, when I came and I arrived on the first day of rehearsals, and he was like, this is a guy who's suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And I was like, and then you realize that actually Shakespeare wrote about it. You know, that's how ahead of his time he was. You know, if you think about it, people didn't even know what post-traumatic stress disorder was after World War I or II. They called it shell shock, you know, after World War II. And he was writing about it back then, and he does write it. And in this, you know, in the banquet scene, Lady Macbeth says, don't worry, you know, he's suffered from these fits before. We've all seen it before. It'll pass. So that's what that is. And then, of course, he's seeing things right at the beginning, in the get-go. The witches, are they really there? Are these things that we see or imagine? Because, you know, that's also a huge part of that disorder, you know, hallucinating, you know. So, you know, we know this now from, like, soldiers coming back from Iraq, going down, you know, whatever, Clapham High Street, or, you know, and next thing it's Basra, literally, and they think they're in a war zone. And so all of that just crystallized. It was massive help to me. I never saw it, you know. You know, this idea of a Lady Macbeth that is not ambition crazy, and that she's actually, again, a very damaged person from the loss of at least one child. The loss of her husband, he's never there. He's out battle campaigning. They've never mourned the loss of their child together. And so she's a very sacrificial character for me. She offers herself up to the, you know, whatever forces are at work, to give her this strength, to go through with this for the sake of her husband, for the sake of their relationship, that they can forge a union through this murder of her father. I mean, it's pretty hardcore, but it's a more interesting angle than the idea of just for the ambition. It's an amazing piece, and you get one chance at it, you know. I mean, and then it's going to be down on film, and that's it. So I just tried to be as well prepared as I could be going into it, and like in every job, then, as Justin was saying, you know, each day you just try and make sure that you've uncovered all the stones and not left anything sort of wanting at the end of the day, as much as you can, to have that philosophy every day. I think everything we approached with simplicity. You know, I don't think we ever tried to work against the verse. No. Or to sort of disregard the verse. We just tried to keep everything simple and tangible, and you know, the idea that, you know, Justin had from the beginning was a lot more intimate, perhaps, with the text than maybe some of the more traditional examples would be. But it was always to be just, you know, truthful to the text, really, as any script you would approach. But of course, you know, this is Shakespeare. It's pretty amazing writing. Justin, I think, sort of discovered very early on that we were going to treat Macbeth as a character who was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. And so already he's having hallucinations, and There's a certain element of psychosis there, which runs right through to the banquet scene where, you know, he says himself, you know, if anybody knows me, they know that I have these sort of strange fits. So that obviously was something that was part of the man before we come to him in the play. And I thought that was a really helpful key into finding him, you know, and finding that sort of what is reality and what's in his head. There's an awareness, you know, because like once you start like a line like, is this a dagger I see before me? It's hard not to hear all the other actors, all the other times that I've seen it sort of come up and sort of be there in your sort of, you know, internal radio or whatever's going on. So trying to find, you know, some sort of freshness, I suppose, is inevitable. But then also not to dwell on it too much because, you know, the line then doesn't have to sort of become a labored line, you know. It has to sort of just be like any of the other lines, but it is that recognizable line. So it's all those things, you know, trying to get to a place where you can enjoy it and allow it to sort of dictate to you rather than you trying to sort of necessarily impose anything on it. From rehearsal period on, his insight into the piece and the clearness of what we were looking for in each scene, in each section, really helped so much and brought a real clarity to each beat and each section that we were approaching in a way that I couldn't, you know, I was kind of in the fog with a lot of it. It was just great to see him on set because I was like, there is somebody doing what they were put here to do. And you know, I just felt a great trust in him. And that's the essential thing that an actor needs to feel coming to work each day, is a trust to be able to go to places and to look, you know, to make a fool of yourself and to, you know, feel like you're in a safe place to do that and somebody who's keeping an eye out for you. And I know Marion felt exactly the same.
Hey, I've got a movie fact for you. Did you know that Darth Vader only has 12 minutes of screen time in the original Star Wars? For this and more movie facts, click on more videos. Or for more trailers, click on the playlist.